Welcome back to 104.7 Rossendale Radio. It's Valley Breakfast, and I'm Paul Jenkins. Now, Copper Feel is something that you may not have heard of, but they're launching a brand new boob portal in partnership with Avon, giving guidance on breast health as this beauty brand trains its reps to spot the signs of breast cancer. It's not often that I'm talking about boobs at 8:15 in the morning, but I have my absolute joy to speak to GP Frankie Jackson Spence, an NHS doctor who is working as a health influencer and sharing educational videos on Instagram as well. Apologies, I've just called you a GP, Frankie. Are you a GP or not?
No, I actually work in oncology.
There you go. So you're not a GP at all. This is a perfect way to start an interview. I've misdiagnosed you before we started. Now, where are you joining us from this morning?
So I am in London.
Excellent. So we are a few miles away from the joys of Rossendale. I should imagine you've got better weather than us, as usual. I mean, do you want to tell us about the boob portal? Because it's very much about women fit this whole kind of self-checkout, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So Avon have launched this boob portal, which is basically educating women to know the signs of breast cancer, know the risks, and know how to take action and not leaving things too late. So the Boob Portal is an educational hub which has lots of information about self-checking. So women should be encouraged to check their breasts once a month and get to know their own bodies so that if anything changes or anything's not quite right, they seek medical advice early.
And this is a really good way, isn't it, Avon, of trained their reps. We all know of Avon reps sort of traveling around door to door and running Avon parties and running all sorts of other bits and pieces to get beauty products out there. But of course, women are talking at those events or on the doorstep or wherever they're talking about their health and about beauty. And of course, it's very much about bodies. And these are fantastic ways to get the message out there, isn't it?
Yeah, like breast cancer affects 1 in 8 women. So it affects someone you know. Everyone's been affected by this in some way, whether personally or someone you know. And we want to normalize these conversations about checking your breasts and kind of owning your own body and owning your own health and make that as normal as talking about your latest lipstick or your latest perfume.
It is, and this is the thing: is that sometimes we all get embarrassed about talking about our bodies. I know that men's health, in particular, with this being big drives towards men talking about their prostate cancer or testicular cancer, and it is a difficult subject for people to talk about. And actually, in terms of diagnosis, the pandemic has sort of had a massive impact on diagnosis, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think during the pandemic, lots of people were afraid to go to the doctor for a couple of reasons. One being that they didn't want to catch the virus and they didn't want to leave the house. But also, I think lots of people were anxious that they would be overwhelming the doctors who were working hard during the pandemic. So lots of people put off going, whether that be to their GP with a symptom they may be having or a niggle, or even to attend the breast cancer screening program for women 50 and over. So we have seen a reduction in the uptake of those. And I really want to encourage people listening now that if that's you and you've been putting it off, now is a sign it's time to go to the doctor.
It is, and it's one of those things that, you know, we're all playing catch up a little bit on some of the things we didn't do. I know for a fact I'm waiting for a dentist appointment. They said I can see me in November because I've got to kind of plan ahead now. We've got to play catch up with our health a little bit. But it is, I mean, it's a massive problem. I mean, is it 7.8 million women are currently living with breast cancer or have received a diagnosis in the last 5 years, and it's the world's most prevalent cancer. It's one of those things that it seems obvious for us to be having these conversations about it, but sometimes, I don't know, is it a British thing? Do we feel reserved in some way talking about our bodies with other people?
I think so, and I think that's something we're trying to change. You know, 150 women in the UK will be diagnosed with breast cancer each day, and I think those stats can be quite frightening, and people therefore don't want to look because they're afraid that they might find something. But what I really want people to know is that in most cases, if you find something, it doesn't turn out to be cancer. 9 out of 10 breast lumps that make it to the breast clinic end up being benign and not cancerous. But also, if you do have cancer and you pick it up early, lots of cases of breast cancer can be curable, and early detection and diagnosis is really important.
It is, and it's one of those things. I think, as well as talking publicly about this now, it's also something we can do at home. Be open at home with each other about our bodies. Don't be frightened to sort of say to our partners, could you help me with it? I'm going to be sort of checking myself. Could we discuss this together? Because I think sometimes those conversations at home, we keep things to ourselves. We don't want to bother people. We don't want to sort of put on other people. But actually, just being open and talking about these things is going to be a real help for just lifting the load a little bit, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think lots of people don't realize that lots of women out there are checking their breasts because people don't talk about it. So there's many women that aren't doing this. Only around a third of women actually check each month as advised. And they don't really realize their friends are doing it. So having these conversations makes it less scary because you're all in it together.
Yeah, we've all got to be just a little bit less prudish about talking about ourselves a little bit. It's been a great national campaign. I saw something in the press the other day that they turned the Millennium Dome into a giant boob, which I think is an amazing thing. And there's been people scaling it to sort of get awareness of the project as well. Where can people go to find out more if they want to sort of just find out a little bit more about the campaign more than anything else?
So the Avon website has the boob portals, lots of information there, but also we're very active on social media, particularly this month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So the Avon or Copperfield Instagram page as well.
Oh, Frankie, it's absolutely fantastic to speak to you this morning. And as I've said to all of our guests in the past, we always give you the chance to choose some music of your own as well, to head us off as we go into Valley Breakfast this morning. And so what have you gone for?
I'm going to go for Ed Sheeran, Shape of You.
Shape of You, Ed Sheeran. I mean, what a better way. We're talking about bodies, and Ed wrote an entire song about it. So that's Copperfield. Go and check out the Avon website if you want to find out more. And thank you very much to my guest this morning, Frankie Jackson Spence.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Ed Sheeran.